Hello, everybody. I'm Star Raptor, and welcome to my movie review, spoiler free, of course, of Captain America: Civil War. Now, this story was adapted from the Civil War comics that were released in 2006, written by Mark Miller. So, Civil War is directed by the Russo brothers, who you might remember directed the other Captain America movie, Winter Soldier. So, quick plot overview of what this story is all about. As the name suggests, this is a civil war. We are having our favorite heroes versing each other. And how does this happen? Well, basically, over the years, the Avengers have racked up quite a bit of collateral damage. So now the government is stepping in because the Avengers, up until now, have been a private force. So now we are getting federal control of the Avengers, where people like Captain America are against this because they want to have the flexibility of going where they need to go when they need to go and not being, ordered to do so. But then we have Tony Stark, Iron Man, on the other side, who is supporting the government and trying to bring in Captain America and his allies, such as Falcon and Ant-Man and Scarlet Witch, trying to get those guys to come over. So we have a conflict. Neither side wants to make a compromise. So this is what happens. A civil war is created. So I'm going to go over my strengths of this movie. So first off, amazing job balancing these characters. We have so many characters. This might be the most characters we've seen in a Marvel movie. Probably more than the Avengers. And in my opinion, they tackled it better than the Avengers. I mean, you're getting a little bit of an insight to each of these heroes. It's not just all about Captain America, which, as the name implies, you might think that he's the main character. And, pretty much him and Tony Stark are. But we're going into Scarlet Witch. We're going into the psychology of Vision. We're going into more about Winter Soldier. We're going into more about Falcon. Like, literally every one of these characters is continually to get fleshed out. Awesome interactions, some great dialogue between these characters. And that brings me to my next point is not only do we have familiar faces, but we have two new faces appearing in the MCU. First off, we have Spider-Man, and this guy that plays him, Tom Holland, just gets it. Comparing this Spider-Man to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, this guy nails it. He's a younger Spider-Man, and we find and the way they introduce Spider-Man is great because we don't need to know his origin story, but the way they introduce him into the movie is just so exciting. I mean, we have Tom Holland, just he's a very energetic kind of Spider-Man. Like we know from the comics. I've read a few myself. I'm not an expert by no means, but from what I heard, he's always been this like kid that's joking around. He's never having to, he's never being too serious, and that's how he comes off in this movie. I was happy to see more of what I thought we would get from him. I thought he would maybe have a small cameo, but I mean, he has a lot more to do in this film than I thought he would. The action sequences with Spider-Man are just unbelievable stuff. I mean, just him with the other characters interacting, doing certain things are just absolutely incredible. So I cannot wait for his standalone film in 2017. And also the other character, and I think I might even like this more than Spider-Man. It's a toss-up. Both are just amazing. Is Black Panther, T'Challa, Wakanda, and let's see, Boseman, Chadwick Boseman plays this character, and it's so interesting because we get to know the other side of the planet, namely the part of Africa named Wakanda, which is a made up kind of thing for the MCU. And we have this guy, inheriting. I find it so interesting about his backstory, how he inherits basically kingship of the land and grants the power of Black Panther, which is a hereditary kind of power. And just the way that, Chadwick Boseman, I love the dialogue. He's got this awesome accent, really cool accent. Um, but he just seems like it's a very calculating character. And just him as Black Panther in the suit himself, just the abilities of Black Panther are just incredible. Like you see him so agile, like literally like a panther, like he's pouncing around, super quiet, super stealthy, comes out of nowhere, and his suit is made of adamantium, I believe, the same thing that's made out of Captain America's shield. So we see a lot of really cool acrobatic kind of moves. I cannot wait for the Black Panther solo movie. I think it's in 2017 or 2018. But yeah, what a surprise! And like I said, they found a way with all these characters already in this movie to introduce two brand new characters, and they just pull it off like I would never believe they could do a better job than they did in this movie with them. And speaking of just interacting with different things, the action sequences are the best I've ever seen in a action movie probably. I mean maybe not ever, but like as far as like the Marvels, definitely up there. I mean, like I said before, starting off this review, this is probably bigger, bigger than the Avengers. There's more characters than the Avengers, and we do see very large. If you've watched the trailers, a very large battle scenes, and it's just the creative ways of these characters fighting each other, doing different type of things to each other in ways I would have never expected. It's just the team-driven kind of aspect of these fights is just absolutely incredible. There's just I could watch this movie like 10 more times because this is just some crazy stunts these guys are pulling. It's just like, and I feel like you have to watch it like 10 times because there's so many things like the movements are so quick that it's just like, oh, that is so awesome. You have to watch it over and over again. Um, and also, I really like the how this Civil War movie is kind of continuing from the previous movies, taking exact repercussions of what happened. So we have, we have them bringing up the damage that was brought on New York City in original Avengers, and we have a bit from Winter Soldier where DC kind of gets pretty much destroyed almost by the helicarriers from Shield, and then they start talking about, of course, Sokovia, which was seen in Age of Ultron, that the fortress, the city that kind of floats up and crashes down. So you see all this collateral damage, and it just brings in an interesting plot point to where we're like, okay, um, this has got to stop. There's too many innocent people are dying, and this is unchecked. We got to get some kind of hold on these people. So we're gonna have to bring in the government. So I really liked how they're really letting us know that this has not been something that's they're taking lightly. They got to take action now. And I just absolutely, another thing was the line being drawn between both sides. So you have the Tony Stark pro uh, Sokovia Accords, and then you have Captain America's team who just don't want to have anything to do that. They want to be independent. They want to be in a private. That's what Avengers stands for. They have the freedom to do what they want. So the movie plays a nice kind of way of building up that conflict and having our characters interact with characters from both sides, seeing what their ideals are, their ethics, and it just really brings in this kind of bigger bigger perspective that we've never seen in Marvel movies. A lot of the Marvel movies are usually like pretty black and white, like, oh, there's a villain, we got to take him down. This movie, it's more or less how you think about like politics in a sense, and just like basically ethics. Like, all right, should we the government's going to be able to control us. If something bad happens, they might not let us go there. That sort of thing. Where if we were private, we can go do what we want. So just a great way of looking at a different perspective. The pacing's really good in this movie. We have a lot of action, but then it does slow down to give us a chance to catch our breath, and I really appreciate that. And also like the movie, it's a great example of a Marvel movie, what they should be and what they've always been. It's just a great balance. And as the other America movies, Winter Soldier was like pretty serious, spy thriller. This is also some serious kind of stuff we're getting into of right and wrong and how people perceive right and wrong, and just having to balance between being serious and then, of course, being very humorous. Spider-Man does a great job of adding some really awesome humor, but he's not the only one. There's some really laugh out loud great parts in this for sure. Uh, and that being said, the only weakness I really had with this entire movie was just the fact that, you know, superheroes, they're feeling invincible. I would like to see more. I would like to see more of a risk involved. Yes, there were consequences at the end of this film, but they weren't as effective for me as I would have liked them to be. And that's as far as I want to go into without giving away too many spoilers. But that is what I thought of Captain America Civil War, guys. Hands down, I absolutely love this film. This is the epitome of a superhero film. I mean, we've been waiting for years for something like this to happen. We never knew that Tony Stark, Iron Man would be fighting Captain America, and all these characters coming together to fight each other that have been allies this entire time. This is like completely turning the Marvel Cinematic Universe on its head and spinning it around. Like, this is just like stuff we've been daydreaming, you know, as kids. Like, oh, what would happen if this guy fought this guy? And if, for a matter of fact, this is gonna happen in this movie. And you know, I appreciate the ending. The ending's great. There's definitely a launch off point for another movie to continue this conflict, perhaps. Uh, but certainly, this is going to change the Marvel Cinematic Universe from here on out for sure. Guys, I'm going to say it right here. This is my favorite Marvel movie so far. So if that isn't enough to convince you, please go check this out. It is worth the money. So what did you guys think of my review for Captain America Civil War? Did you like how it ended? Not so much? How about those after credit scenes, huh? Let's continue the discussion in the comment section down there. And please guys, subscribe to my channel because you'll be able to keep updated on all my latest content, including my review for Batman v Superman. You can follow me on Twitter at StarRaptor, as well as like my Facebook page at StarRaptor. Thanks for watching guys, and bye bye.